The LED sequential turn signals that we have here today will be a relatively affordable option for all 2015 through 2017 owners who might be looking for an aftermarket solution that will incorporate the combination of a very bright white running light in addition to a sequential turn signal, thanks to the white and amber LEDs included with this particular package. Along with that, owners can look forward to the combination of the gloss black interior housing topped off with a 50 state legal clear lens, making for a different front end appearance compared to your stock lights. So this product is going to appeal to the early S550 owners out there for a couple of different reasons. Now, first up, you are getting, again, that gloss black housing here topped off with a crystal clear lens, and working together that will help deliver a darker, more aggressive appearance, which in my opinion is subtle, but at the same time flows much better with the stock headlights that do incorporate a black housing with the clear lens. And on top of that, the new LED options will also flow much better with perhaps other dark or smoked lighting that you might have added to your S550 Mustang. Now, aside from the basic overall appearance, these lights will certainly pack some extra features when it comes to functionality. Now, first up, these will replace your factory lights with 2 rows of LEDs. The first being a bright white LED that will serve as your running light whenever your parking lights or your running lights are fired up. However, once you move into your turn signals, once you activate your signals, you will have a row of amber LEDs that will sequence here, of course, delivering that very cool sequential turn signal functionality that a lot of Mustang owners really appreciate. Now, all of that lighting has been loaded into the very durable automotive grade ABS plastic housing and then sealed up nice and tight behind the clear impact resistant polycarbonate lens. I do want to point out there is a bit of detail going on here with the gloss black inner housing. Certainly very cool looking, definitely aftermarket. So for owners out there who prefer to stick more with an OE recipe, these might not be the best option for you in that regard. Now you can see the light cutouts do feature kind of this little arrow pattern going on there. And again, you have the 2 rows of upper and lower LEDs, which will illuminate depending on what your functionality is doing. I do also want to point out, guys, because of that clear lens, you are getting a 50 state legal DOT and SAE approval here. Always like to point that stuff out as well. And these will feature a 100% plug and play design that will make for a very easy install, as we'll show you here in a little bit. Now, the LED options that we have here on the table today are gonna land right around $200, give or take, for the pair, which honestly, guys, is on the lower side of the pricing spectrum when compared to other more premium options in the category. Their options are gonna cost you a couple $100 more than the LED options that we have here on the table today. All right, guys, last but not least, let's move into the installation. And the site is gonna call this a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you at least an hour to complete from start to finish. But now we're gonna throw it out to the guys in the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown. Check it out.
The tools you'll need for this project are a ratchet, a 7 and an 8mm socket, a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and a trim panel removal tool. Hi, everyone. Today we're installing a set of turn signals on our Mustang, so let's get started by watching a short video on how to uninstall the front bumper.
So the first step to our install here, we're going to need the trim panel removal tool. We're going to go ahead and remove this plastic radiator cover here. There's a bunch of push pins that hold it in, and then we'll remove some hardware underneath. Now with all those out of the way, we can go ahead and remove that cover. And with that out of the way, you can see these 8mm bolts right here. There's 6 of them. We're gonna remove those as well. Now there is one thing you don't want to miss while we're up here. It's right underneath of this weather stripping. Phillips head screw, one on either side right in front of the headlight. So that's all the work we're gonna do on the top for now. We're gonna move underneath. We're gonna get rid of this splash guard, but first we need to disconnect it from this wheel well liner. It's held on by a couple of push pins. There is one right here that's a little bit tough to see. You can see the back of it right there, and then we're gonna hit the last one right here. Now we can actually remove the hardware holding on the splash guard. There's a bunch of 7mm bolts underneath here all along this leading edge. There's 2 right here in the middle and then 4 across the back. We're gonna get those all out of here. And with those 4 in the back removed, you can go ahead and slide this back just a hair. That should drop right away from the Mustang. Now we can go ahead and unplug our fog lights and turn signals. There's 1 plug down here for the fog light, and then 2 up at the top for the turn signal. And then we can hit the same thing for the other side. Now the next thing we're gonna remove is a little bolt here behind this fender. I do believe this is the hardest part of the uninstall, but it's really not even that bad, just requires a little bit of extra work. It's basically gonna run from the fender and into the bumper to secure these 2 together. The easiest way that I've found to get at this is that you could pop a couple clips in the fender liner if you need to. I'm just gonna peel this back a little bit, and I'm gonna hold that there like that while we come in here with the ratchet to get that out. And there's the bolt, runs through just like that. Now with that removed, we can go ahead and grab this lip here, and that bumper is just gonna pop right out, and you can clearly see that screw is gonna go right there, and it basically hooks into this little hoop part of the bumper, which is broken on ours, but there's no need to break that on yours. Just get that screw out of there, pop that out, you're good to go. So now this bumper is ready to come off. All we're gonna do is push up to release it, and we're gonna pull it right off of our Mustang.
With our bumper off, now what we need to do is remove the shell that holds our turn signal into the bumper. To do that, we're going to be using our 7mm socket and remove a series of screws around the outside edge to go ahead and get this thing removed. Now with our screws removed, we can use our flathead screwdriver to wedge down these tabs. There are 4 of them here that hold this in as well. So we'll use our screwdriver to push down and unlock those tabs. Then you can go ahead and remove the whole unit and then simply lift out your turn signal. All right, now that we've got our turn signal out, we need to transfer a couple of things over from the old one to the new one in order to get our lights ready to go. First thing is we're going to remove our turn signal socket by turning it counterclockwise until it unlocks, and then just slide it right out. Now, once it slides out, go ahead and gently remove the bulb. And then what you're going to do is take your socket and plug it into the outlet on the light itself. We'll plug that in, and then we'll go ahead and insert it into the new light, turn it clockwise to lock it in. Next thing we're going to do is remove the parking light socket as well, simply by turning it counterclockwise and sliding it out. Now, once we do that, again, we're going to gently remove the bulb. And then we're simply going to insert the socket into the new light. Turn it clockwise and lock it in place. Now, once we've got that done, we can go ahead and install our resistor to the new light. It's already got a plug ready to go. You just have to simply push that in and lock it into place. Now we're ready to reinstall this in our bumper. All right, now we'll go ahead and drop our resistor through the opening in the shell. Place our light into place, install our screws. And now we'll tighten them down with our 7mm socket. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our shell back into the bumper. Go ahead and line up our tabs, push that in to lock them into place. And now we can go ahead and reinstall our screws. Now we'll use our 7mm socket to tighten them all down. All right, now you can repeat this process for the other light as well. Now with everything back in our bumper, we can go ahead and get this installed. So the first thing we're going to do is just lift this up and set it in place on the alignment tabs up top, but we're not going to tighten anything down yet because we still need to plug in all of our connectors. So let's go ahead and get this on the vehicle. All right, so we've got our bumper sitting on the alignment tabs now, so it'll hold it in place. It'll give us a little bit of freedom behind it to go ahead and plug everything in. All right, so now that we've got our bumper sitting on the car again, we can go ahead and plug in our harnesses. So that's just a matter of lining them up, pushing them in until they lock. Even the one that we removed the bulb from, go ahead and plug that in just to keep it from rattling around. And plug in our fog light as well. Now, once you've got that in place, we still have to figure out what we're going to do with our resistor here. Now, you can do whatever works best for you. For us right now, we're just gonna leave it hang here, but you can use a zip tie and hang it up on the headlight bracket, on the lower headlight bracket up above, zip tie that up in there. You just wanna make sure that you keep this away from anything that could potentially be damaged by high heat. So for our purposes today, we're just gonna leave it sit on the bottom of the splash pan. Now you can go ahead and repeat this process of plugging in your lights on the other side. All right, now we can go ahead and install our 8mm screws across the top of our bumper here, securing it to the vehicle. And then don't forget your Phillips head screwdrivers on the very end. And now we can tighten down all of our screws with our 8mm socket. Now with that being said, we can go ahead and reconnect our bumper to our fender, and then we'll go underneath and tighten everything up there. And we'll go ahead and push our bumper up into place, push it in, lock it in to the tabs on the fender, and do the same thing for the other side. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our radiator cover. And we'll be reusing the original push pins that we used when we uninstalled it. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our push pins on the inner fender liner here. We've got one here at the very bottom on the outside, and then one right above it. And then we've got one up here in this little crevice. And then one right here at the very bottom, right in front of the tire. Go ahead and secure that. And do the same thing for the other side. All right, now we've got two more push pins right here on the bottom. And now we can install our 4 7mm screws across the back and the two up front of our splash pan. And unfortunately, one of our spring clips broke on uninstall, so we're only going to have 3 on the back side here. And with all of our screws started, we go ahead and tighten them down with our 7mm socket. And with that, your installation is now complete. And that wraps up our review and install of the LED sequential switchback turn signals with the gloss black finish for your 15 to 17 Mustang GT, EcoBoost, and V6. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.